Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to each and every one of you. Welcome to Every Piece of Me Matters. I am your host, Cindy Holden, and I am here tonight. I missed you on last Wednesday. I am back. Had some time for rest and restoration. Oh, yeah. Refreshing my soul. I really needed that. And so I'm back on tonight. I'm glad that you are here. I'm going to call this Soul Care Part 2. I've really been exploring and just grappling, if you will, with this idea of soul care. So we're going to go back there on tonight. I've heard from so many of you that the topic, the conversation on soul care was really not only enlightening, but it was helpful to many of you, and it piqued your curiosity. And so it's still ministering and blessing me too. So I'm coming back for some more. You ready? All right, I am. So I'm going to ask you to do something with me tonight. Let's take a breath together. I've just unwound, if you will, from my day. At least I've wrapped up the final session, reviewed my notes. I didn't finish them all, but I'll get back to them. And so I need a breath or two or three or more. And so I'm going to ask, if you will, here's the invitation. Take a breath with me. No special way. Just pay attention that you're breathing, right? If nothing else. And so I'm going to count to three just to give you a few moments to collect yourself. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. Or do your own thing. I'm just giving the invitation. It really doesn't have to be any special way. Just intentionally pause. Take a moment or two or three or more for yourself. Why? Because every piece of you matters. Every piece of me and every piece of you. And so every piece of me, this is a gentle reminder. This is a safe space for women who are ready. You've made a conscious decision that you are ready to embrace every part of yourself. Right, wrong, weak or strong, good, bad, or indifferent. We are not here to judge it in the way of being that harsh critic, right? For self-sabotage and things that don't serve us well. But it's a time of spiritual grounding. It's very therapeutic. It's not designed to replace your therapy, right? I am a therapist, but I'm here in the capacity of having healthy conversation with women who I believe are very much like myself, determined to be all that God has created me to be. And I suspect that you are in that place too. So I'm going to take a stretch. I had my breath. I'm taking a stretch. I'm sporting that Self-Care University shirt. Shout out to one of my homies. Yes, my little sisters, Miss Kendra. Yeah, compliments of her. And so let's go ahead and lean in tonight. So soul care. What is soul care? I'm going to do just a little bit of a rewind. Listen, I'm not going to go over the whole conversation. If you missed it, go back. It's the last, like 2 weeks ago. I forget the date, but go back, look for the title, Soul Care. And you can kind of listen to the replay so you can get caught up to where we are. That's the good thing about one of the good things being on YouTube, right? You can watch the replay. If you miss it up front, live and in person, if you will, so to speak, you can watch the replay. So go back and watch Soul Care Part 1. Here's the remix on tonight. So what is soul care? I'm reading a definition that I looked up. I believe it was from either Merriam-Webster dictionary. It doesn't actually give the definition of soul care, right? I didn't look that up. I looked up the definition for soul. And so soul has to do with our mind, our emotions, right, plural, and our will. So that's what the soul is comprised of: our mind, our emotion, and our will. And there's so much more that goes along with that. And this idea of soul care is talking about, here's the indicator, care. How am I caring for my soul? Am I caring for my mind? The things that I think, that I ponder on, the beliefs that I hold, right? The thoughts that come up. Am I believing every thought that comes up is true? And so much more. Mindsets, the things that I set my mind on. And sometimes I'm stuck on it. I won't budge from it. Just to give some examples. And then my emotions. There's a lot of emotions, and their feelings too. But my emotions, whether it's fear or anger, anxiety, whatever those emotions are, feelings of hurt and rejection and disappointment, am I caring for those aspects of my life? Yeah, I'm spirit, soul, and a body, right? And I've got that mind and body and spirit. We talk about those frequently, but that's soul, right? The mind is a part of the soul, and being able to care for that. Going into yourself. A good friend of mine, I call her my colleague, Miss V. She says, if you don't go within, you'll go without. And so going within yourself, your soul is something that is invisible. It's not tangible. You can't touch it. However, it manifests, it shows, it reveals itself in different ways. And so through our behavior can be a big way of, let's say, identifying, if you will, or knowing the condition of my soul. Now, I'm not talking about minding somebody else's soul business, although there is a space where that can be appropriate. But I am referring to caring for my own soul, minding my own business. Yeah. And so in this moment, I am minding yours because I'm on assignment, and that's a part of my business, to encourage you to pay attention to your own mind, emotions, and your will. I wanted to read something. I am a woman of faith, and part of my identity, or should I say my identity, is defined as by God, a believer, right, through God and his son Jesus Christ. And so I know who I am. I know my parents, I know who brought me into this world, but on a level of my source and my creator. God is my source. He is my creator. And so that helps to inform me and shapes who I am on many levels. And so as I was doing some further research about the soul, I came across there were many scriptures, to be honest, that refers to the soul. Let's see, I'm trying to pull this up. I found, I do like to read and kind of check things out. So I'm giving you this not for impression, but I think for me, it just kind of speaks to the importance of caring for our soul. It said that in my research, the soul is referenced in the Bible over 520 times. And that's something in scripture, over 520 times. So I don't know exactly, but somewhere around 520. And so in the beginning, we think about Genesis as the book of beginnings. Genesis 2:9 talks about man becoming a living soul, how God breathed the breath of life into him, mankind. And so it's not speaking the gender, right, specifically, but mankind became a living soul. And we can look in the Psalms, I believe it's Psalms 23. It says, he restores my soul. So the soul is an important part. Remember, every piece of me matters. My soul and caring for my soul, it is important. Let's see, I believe it was David somewhere. He said, my soul cries out. That was in all throughout the Psalms, speaks a lot about the soul. My soul cries out. David even makes reference to, he's speaking to his soul. He's asking his soul a question. It comes across as, oh, my soul, why art thou disquieted within me? You know, the day-to-day chatter, the chaos and the noise, whether it's work, family life, there's so much noise, so much, the volume seems to be turned up loud. And I could hardly hear myself at times. And so being able to take some time to step away and to care for my mind, my emotions, and my will, knowing that I have freedom to choose. I can choose, and my choices, what I choose, it makes a difference. And so caring for my soul is that careful consideration, the careful examining, reflecting, spending some time in reflection. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? We talk about feelings. I do quite a bit, feelings and emotions, and throughout the days, and even on this week, listening to people bare their soul, if you will, what's on their mind and how their emotions are sometimes all over the place, seemingly like a roller coaster. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes I take 10 steps forward and then it feels like I get knocked 100 steps back. That may sound extreme to some, but there are many who are experiencing, they're struggling with the cares of this world. And so I want to encourage you on tonight. Ask yourself, oh my soul, why are you disquieted within? What's going on inside of me? Taking a moment, pausing, asking those questions, and spending some time in reflection to respond. Now, this is not a one-time event. It's not an overnight event either, right? It's a process. That's what I'm alluding to. Let me just be straight. It is a process. And so to care for your soul, to shine that light within, to go within, intimacy, right? Intimacy with myself. I hear people, and I can relate to that, of longing to be in a healthy relationship, wanting companionship and love and all the things that go along with it. And so one of the things that I've discovered, and speaking from that I perspective, let's say I've done my best, I've done my best and to have relationships with others, to care for them, to give, to be connected. And for a lot of my life, I wasn't so aware of the relationship that I was having with myself, or should I say, the lack thereof. I had one, and I can be transparent because I've come to a place where I've learned, I'm doing my work as far as digging around in the places in my life, the different aspects, the different parts of me. I'm no longer afraid. And even if there is some fear, I can take a look within myself. Why? To uncover, to reveal, to discover, so that I can show up and not only represent God, but I can be exactly who I was designed or created to be. And so it does take that intimacy with myself into me to see, right? Often I hear people say, and I've said it too, I want to be seen, I want to be heard, not in a sense of, I'm in your face. I know that's the little drama queen, that comes out of me sometimes. And so, yeah, I want people to understand me, I want people to hear me. But I want to ask you the question: do you see you? Do you hear you? Do you hear what you're saying? Do you hear what you're thinking? Do you know what you want? I heard the song, I think it's Diana Ross. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Okay, bring it back, Cynthia. Yeah, I'm getting caught up into that. Do you know? I have come to know it is not other people's responsibility to care for me or my soul. They may take part if I'm open and given permission. Perhaps it's a pastor or someone who is serving or in service. As a therapist, I'm helping people to care for their souls. I help them to help themselves. I'm the vessel, but there's a collaboration. We work together. And so your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions, it is your responsibility to care for you in this way. Now, I'm going to tell you, for a long time, I had it twisted. I said, and still it comes up, and I hear people say it too. He made me feel, or she made me feel, or they think I think. Let me bring that back. No one can make me feel anything that I don't agree to. Chew on that for a while. We're talking about soul care tonight, caring for your mind, your will, and your emotions. And wrapped up in some of that is your identity. Who are you? Who am I? Am I being defined by my emotions? Many of us, maybe not you, but we grew up with these different filters or these different lenses of children should be seen and not heard. Get somewhere and sit down and shut up. What goes on in this house stays in this house. Different things. And I understand, today I do, that it was designed for protection and so forth and so on. However, for some, it taught them to shrink, to be quiet. Your voice is not important. And so things as it relates to personal values, esteem, confidence. Listen, I hear people say quite frequently, I'm broken, I'm damaged goods. Whew. What am I saying? And what does that even look like? And even if that's the way that I feel or I see myself as broken, I'm here to tell you, every piece of you matters. Where there has been brokenness, there can be restoration. And it does require being able to care for your own soul. And so you may be asking, well, how can I do that? All right, I got some things that I want to share with you. Go back to our first soul care. There's some things there too. I want to focus pretty much on tonight on having that alone time with yourself. I am okay with being by myself. I can, sit with myself. I can be in the house for weeks and the TV doesn't even come on. It's not anything to brag about. It's just the way that it is. I'm really not a big TV person. But spending that quality time with myself in solitude and reflection, being able to look at myself. And you know what? It can be hard sometimes. Listen, there are a lot of things in life that are hard or that have been hard for so many people. People are struggling with all types of situations and circumstances and the things that we define as our brokenness. But I've got good news on tonight. Christ came to seek and to save those who are lost. And so he is near to those who are broken, right? Who are in places in their lives where they feel there's nothing but darkness. I'm here to tell you that in the deepest darkness, the light of who you are, the light of Christ, will shine so bright that you can care for yourself in a way where you can be restored, you can be revived, you can be resuscitated. I love that word. I came across that in some of my studies. Like perhaps you're on life supports. Life has been handing you a bag of lemons, so to speak. And you feel like you've been sucking on lemons and you're walking around looking like it too. Little brow in between there is, again, not the judgment zone, just speaking in reality. For a lot of my life, I did not smile for different reasons, and people would say, smile, it can't be that bad. I'm thinking, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. We all have a story, and some of us are still fresh in what has happened, or some feel like you are trapped or stuck. You're emotional prisoners to the pain that perhaps was inflicted upon you, or the pain of your own indiscretions. And so caring for your soul has become necessary. So spending time alone and prayer and meditation and grounding yourself. How do I ground myself? Well, some like, to listen to music. I like all types of music, to be honest. I like the message that's in the music, and specifically in times of worship and devotion to my Creator, God, to sit in silence with myself, to quiet my soul, the noise from my daily day to day, my own self-doubt, my own whatever is going, that committee that's in my head. And so to silence the noise and to hear the voice of my Creator gently reminding me, hey, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. My dear friend, above all, my desire for you is to prosper and to be in good health, even as your soul prospers. The Passion Translation puts it like this. It's 3 John, I believe it's 1 and 2. I'm going to read it. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to read it directly. It says, beloved friend, I pray that you are prospering in every way and that you continually enjoy good health just as your soul is prospering. And so having good health, living and loving and enjoying life. Listen, God is concerned about every part of us, not just our spirit. Our spirit belongs to him. All of us belongs to him. He is concerned about every part of us. You don't believe me? You don't have to, but check it out. It's this book called the Bible. He says, I will perfect those things that concern you. And so whatever it is, caring for your soul. God will help you. He will show you. He will teach you how to do that, how to sit in silence. And at the same time, how to use your voice to rise and to bring yourself from the ashes and the rubble of your past, of devastation, of abuse, of rejection, torment, pain. The enemy comes to do three things, but he disguises them in a lot of ways. We call him the thief, right? He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But God says, I have come that you may have life, and that abundantly. So living a life that is good, that is healthy, pleasurable, in community with others. So I have an abundance of life with myself, with my community, in others. And I can go about living my life, caring for my soul in a way that I know who I am. And I can stand tall in that. And the things from my past, or even the things that I'm encountering or perhaps grappling or struggling with today, they do not have to define me to the point where they shut me down and I stay or remain an emotional prisoner or in my brokenness. Go ahead, girl. Exhale. Let it out. Whatever it is, know this. Your soul matters. It's a part of you that is important. It's a part of you that is necessary too. And that part, it's calling for you today. It's looking for you to give it some attention. Your thoughts, your words, those feelings and emotions that want to tell you that you don't matter, that no one cares. Your will that feels like it's enslaved, it's held captive. It's stuck in situations and circumstances that you just don't want to be in anymore. Caring for your soul is possible. And so as you consider through, whether it's through prayer and meditation or talking to a friend, a safe space, maybe it is seeking out a therapist, someone to help you, to go into you, to see and to unpack the things that have been patterns and cycles for so many years. Perhaps it's back in your family line. It can end with you today. The old saying is, the buck stops here. It was she's my niece, my great niece, and she said to her Gigi, her grandma, one time, she said, Gigi, I got up and I say, not today, Satan. I got a kick out of that. She was taking authority, right? And so that is the message that I'm giving today. Rise up. Rise up. We rise up out of the ashes, up out of the rubble. And God will give us beauty for our ashes as we care for our soul. He will help you. Know that even though it's your responsibility, you don't have to do it alone. And so I want to share this last thing with you about soul care. There's a book, and just something for you to consider. I like to give resources. God is my source, but there are so many resources available. And so in my research, I came across this book. It's called Soul Care, and the author is It's Rob Reimer. I think I'm saying it right. Reimer. Listen, I don't get anything for this, but I found it interesting. In his book, he's talking about some principles for transformation and caring for your soul. And so being able to look at different aspects of your life, whether you're dealing with identity crisis or issues, what for yourself, or maybe even for those who are connected to you, your children. There's so many who don't know who they are, and they're seeking and searching and finding themselves in so many different situations that they really, really don't desire to be in. And so transformation is possible, right? Awareness, self-awareness through self-reflection can be the gateway to transformation. So I'm going to tell you again, caring for your soul is necessary. You don't have to stay in that condition that you see yourself in. Broken, damaged, emotionally pained up. Help is available. Restoration is available. Renewal, resurrection, resuscitation, all those words, reimagining, getting down to what's been ailing you. You can do it. And so I want to keep this short. I'm getting all fired up and stirred up tonight. Listen, if this content or information that I'm going to say it's conversation. We give information, but it's a conversation. If this is helping you and you believe it'll help someone else, go ahead and share it. I would like for you to subscribe to help get the message out, but share it with someone else. And I invite you to come back to the channel every week for Every Piece of Me Matters. So again, the book, in case you're interested, is called Soul Care. It's by Rob Reimer, Reimer. And know that wherever you are, your soul matters and it can be cared for. So think about what's come up for you today. Maybe there was a little resistance or none of this resonated with you. So it's okay. It's all right. Just put it up on the shelf or maybe stick it in your back pocket. Maybe there'll be a time where it'll come back and you'll be able to help yourself or perhaps share the message with someone else. So that is going to be it for tonight. I'm your host again, Cindy Holden. It is my desire to get the message out to women who are ready to embrace every part of themselves, to surrender and know every piece of me matters. And so I'm going to walk this journey in healing to wholeness. God desires that you walk in wholeness, mind, spirit, body, and soul. Until next week, peace. Good night.